So, on episode 406 on From Betrayal to Breakthrough, coming out in a few weeks, I talked about guilt, all the ways we can feel guilty and how it doesn't do anything for us or anybody else. And if the guilt motivates you to do something, that's okay. But if all you're doing is sitting around feeling guilty, it's a complete waste of time. Well, I just recorded the part two of that because there were so many other parts of guilt where we really need to work on it, but they're bigger and they may need a little more work. And I'm talking about guilt of when you outgrow a friendship. I'm talking about guilt when you fall out of love, guilt when the a family breaks up, guilt when you choose sides. So it's a pretty in-depth interview, but just to touch on it, when you think about, we hear this all the time within the PBT Institute, the betrayed feels like they've broken up the family. And I remind them that it was the betrayal that broke up the family. Just because there are consequences, you're not the one who broke up the family. I mean, let's be honest about what's going on here. The other thing is about guilt with choosing sides, right? Now, think about this. Are you feeling guilty because it doesn't feel right to choose sides? Or do you need to have some closure with the other person so that you feel okay about it? Take a look at that. I talked about feeling guilty now that, let's say, you're divorced and you can't do the things you were doing when you were the family was together. You don't have the finances, you don't have the resources. It's not about fancy, it's about fun. I've worked with so many members within the PBT Institute who I have come up with some really super creative ways to have an amazing time that really cost very little. So it's not about, when you think about your most memorable times, it wasn't the fanciest thing. It was, pitching a tent in the living room. It's silly things, right? Those are the ones that you remember most. And then even with outgrowing friendships, you could feel guilty about it, but everything is energy. So your friends are feeling it, you're feeling it, it doesn't feel good. And that saying, your people are in your life for a season, a reason, a lifetime, and things change. So again, if guilt is just being used as a way, guilt can be used just as a way to buy time, and that's not helping you. So you've heard me say this: hard now, easy later, easy now, hard later. Take your pick. It's one of those two. So in an effort to prevent change, well, that's the easy now leading to the hard later because nothing changes. Or hard now, have that conversation, make that phone call, do that thing. Easy later. Everybody adjusts, everybody adapts, and you'll be fine. So I hope that helps. And that'll be episode 407 coming out soon, From Betrayal to Breakthrough. You have 400 episodes to catch up on if you haven't listened yet. Hope that helps. Follow for more.